What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm gonna bring Sheldon in. Let's post. What up, everybody? Let's get Sheldon a link. 1, 2, 2, 2. How do I invite people? That's the question. Invite. There we go. That's where I invite them. Let's go. If anyone else wants to hop on, they can too. All right, let's do that. Let's go over here. All right. Let's reposition this a little bit so that I'm looking at you guys. Alexa. Oh, wow. I didn't even. Did I not add the link? No, I added the link. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, there's no like. I didn't like really plan this. I said I was gonna go live on Sunday, and I want to start doing this every Sunday. So I didn't want to say I was gonna do it and then not do it. So I'm doing it on the spot. Next time I'll have to be a little more planned. Next Sunday will be better. But still, let's see. Let's see this. Bam. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What up, what up, what up? We got one person in the link. What's going on, people? One person. If you got any questions, drop it in the chat. I'm just like sending things out to people. So I'm doing it on the fly. I'm like those people that does everything last minute. I mean, but I don't want to say I'm gonna go and then not go, right? Yo, what's up, Dustin? What's going on? How are you guys doing? How you doing, buddy? Where's Sheldon? How's it going, brother? Let's see. I'm gonna call Sheldon real quick.
Has been forwarded to voicemail.
Of course. Sheldon. Sheldon's a fun guy to travel with, but Sheldon. Yo, you hopping on?
Yeah, I'm jumping on right now.
All right.
I look for my headphones.
Okay, sounds good. How's it going there, Dustin? Yeah. Where are you from? That's good, man. Where are you from? Part of the U.S., Canada? What part of either? Nice. Surrey. Is it cold down there or warm up there right now? Or well down there. I'm way up north. It's starting to get cold out here. Man, one thing about being a quad, I hate cold. Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about living in Canada. Is it gets real cold here. I used to live in Muskogee before my accident, and like I can handle the cold up there because it's like although it gets to like minus 30 out there, like down in the city it gets like minus 20, but like it's like concrete jungle, so like the wind rips through the buildings and the wind chill. It's like, oh my god, I can't stand it. Totally blind, eh? Yeah. No, I think it's Chile. Yeah. No, it's true that. Yeah, man. How'd you find out of my from my channel? Did you know Sheldon? Or did you find me through Sheldon, or you just came across my videos? Or did you just see me on the live and was like, oh, let's check out this guy? Yeah. Yo, what's up, people? We got 3 people. Oh, yeah, we got Sheldon. Sheldon's trying to join. Let's bring this guy on here. What up?
Yo.
What's up, you 3 people?
What up,
We got
Quad
3
Squad?
people.
What's
Hit me
going
up
on,
in the
big
chat.
homie?
You guys got questions? How's it going out there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
What
down
up,
to 2.
Quad?
And Sheldon's a black screen. I hope you guys don't mind that I vape because I don't smoke. It's a lot better for you, but
Can you see
I'm
me
not
good?
I'm
Is
not
the camera?
condoning that. If you don't vape because it's a whole different battle with smoking. Honestly, it's like smoking. There's like negative effects to smoking. Like it smells bad, tastes bad. You have to go outside to smoke. But like vaping, it's like, bro, you can vape everywhere at any time. I just start chain vaping, so I'm trying to quit this. Yeah, I quit drugs and alcohol. I've been clean for 7 years now, and life is great. Life is great without it. This is the first time my addiction's reared its head, and I'm like started vaping because of my ex. I got in with my ex girlfriend. She used to vape, and I'm like, oh, I thought what I was missing from my vapes was nicotine, and then I'm like, oh, it makes me feel good, but it's still not good for you. But it's better than smoking. What's up, Sheldon? Where you at? You're black.
Can you see me?
You're always black, but
Can you see
black
me?
screen.
You can't see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, where's my brother?
Can you hear me?
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm glad you came across me. Yeah, try to get more in touch with people and, get some feedback and stuff. I mean, comments are great and I love hearing from people in comments, but like, I feel like people hit me up in the comments like, oh, you're making a difference in my life, and they want to ask questions. So like, I want to give people that outlet every week to, ask me questions or let me know what they want to see, so I can direct my focus on what you guys want to see and where I can put my time and effort in. Because editing takes a lot of time. Editing takes a lot
Nick,
of
can you hear
time.
me?
And like that's why that's my biggest thing that holds me back is editing, and that's why I can't get videos out every week. So I'm trying to come up with like ways to make videos that are like, shorter, 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and I don't have to like do a lot of editing to the video. I mean, I'm a good editor, but realistically it's a lot of time when you're a quad. And like I use this head camera. So there's a camera up there, and if you're wondering why I got no lenses in my glasses, it's not for style. And actually, there's a little dot in the middle of the glasses that makes it so that when I do this, it moves the mouse on my screen. It's good. It makes it a lot easier because then, my hands are a little poached, I guess you could say. I got no finger movement. I mean, I got a little bit, but nothing functional. Um, and yeah, with that, but I live a good life. You make do with your situation, make do with what you got, carry on. And I love my life today. Life is good. Life is good. Sheldon, you are on. You are on the stream, but you're a black
Yo, can you guys hear me?
screen, brother.
Can you guys hear me?
You gotta allow. I don't know. Try to rejoin, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you want to know? You got any questions? I can hear you, but I don't think he can. Yeah, no, I'm messaging the guy on my phone, on my texting. Yeah, this blind Sheldon is completely blind. He's Sheldon the blind traveler. So me and him, we just went to Panama. We did Panama City together because, like, there's not a lot of stuff out there on YouTube about the accessibility of Panama. We did Mexico, Cancun, Mexico, in like May together. He's got a channel, Sheldon the Blind Traveler. It's pretty crazy, honestly. It's inspiring to me, even as a quad, where it's like, what? You're completely blind and you travel the world by yourself? That's crazy to me. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I'm in a wheelchair, and that has complications with traveling the world, but like not being able to see. And his quote is like, ever since I've went blind, I can now see. It's like, it's pretty inspirational. He's also been clean for a while, just like me. He just lives his life. You make do with it. Yeah, man. Sure. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully we can get Sheldon in here so we can give you some insight. If you got any questions for him being blind, it's out of his stage. Sheldon, is it gonna work this time? Sheldon, you're having some mad tech difficulties, brother. Oh my gosh, Sheldon. Okay. Allow permissions if it asks. Oh shit, man. Good for you, man. Congratulations on that. That's incredible. Being sober or clean is not easy just as it is, but when you got a disability or you're blind, it makes it a lot harder. So that's even more inspiring, bro. Honestly, yeah. Like I used to be out of freaking control. In a span of 4 years, I broke my legs on 3 separate occasions, all involving drugs and alcohol. And that was after I broke my neck. It was about like 2 or 3 years after. I ended up getting addicted to my painkillers they were prescribing me. And yeah, I got a little rowdy. One is too many, and 1,000 is never enough for me. That's the type of person I am. Oh shit, Sheldon, what are you doing, brother? I see he's blind, so he's having some technical difficulties. He's always got to use a screen reader, and as you're blind, you know how the screen reader can be very technical difficulties. you know. Yeah, do you use iPhone or Samsung?
Can you hear me?
All right, so Sheldon, it looks like your camera is working, but you turned it on and off, so it looks like your camera's working, but it's black.
Okay, but can you hear
Black
me?
screen. Now you got your camera off right now. Can you hear me? Let me see. I muted you, and now I've unmuted you. So you got a
Okay,
black
can you hear me?
screen, Sheldon.
Can
iPhone,
you hear me?
yeah. Like, do you have like your finger over the camera, Sheldon?
No.
You hear me? Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up, Zoe. Any question? So I'm an open book. Any questions? That's what I'm here for. If you just joined, I don't condone these. I quit smoking. And it's better for you, but still, it's a whole different battle. You know, because these things you can smoke it everywhere, at any time, all the time. And that becomes a difficulty because it's like, I'm a chain vapor. And I've been trying to quit. Yeah, I am not completely well. So I broke my neck snowboarding 12 years ago. I hit a jump, fell, and somebody impatiently didn't wait for me to clear the landing. So when they hit the jump after me, they landed on my head. C5 burst fracture. Told me I wouldn't move anything from my neck down, below my level. And then I was like, you know what? Doctors don't know everything. My goal is to walk again. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm fully paralyzed from my chest down, but I'm an incomplete. So I do have feeling and sensation below my level. Yeah, no worry. I mean, it's life happens. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that I was meant to go through what I went through to get to where I'm at, or be a story that can help a lot of people. And yeah. Oh, I guess if you can hear it, Sheldon, that means my sound is not on. That is my problem. Oh snap! All right, let me see this. Oh, because he's in my AirPods. Ha ha ha. Oh, I'm the technical difficulty man here. All right, let's see this. Oh,
Yo.
now I can hear Sheldon.
Yo.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I'm the one with technical difficulty.
Okay, can you hear me? See me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, turn the camera on your end because my camera's on.
Yeah, your camera's on, but you're a black screen for some reason.
No, I'm sitting in the light.
Yeah, so Zoe, yeah, I can feel down there. I don't think I'd be like the happy-go-lucky guy I would be today if I didn't have sensation down there. I mean, it's different. It's different. I'd say like from below my level, I'm like say 60% sensitivity. So it's enough that I feel it and it feels good, you know. But it's different. It's different. I mean, it still gets up, Sometimes it takes a little bit of, you gotta be a little rough on it. But
Yo, Nick, what I'm gonna do? You want me to jump off and jump back on?
well, I mean, you already did that once, and it didn't fix your camera issue. Is your like
Well,
finger
no,
over
it's
your
not
camera?
my camera.
Okay, well, yeah, try hop
Okay,
off,
I'm gonna
off
jump
and hop
off and
back
jump right
on.
back on. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Okay,
good.
okay, okay.
And yeah, no worries, no worries. I'm an open book. There's nothing I'm ashamed to say. It's life is life. And yeah, I made a YouTube video if you check out about does it work and how does it work and all that stuff. Because like I swear the most stereotypical thing is like when you break your neck or you break your back that your downstairs doesn't work. A penis is a muscle. If you stimulate a muscle, it's gonna get hard. So I mean, sometimes if you need to get it more hard, you use supplements for that. But yeah, it works. It works. You know, you just gotta get creative with the positions and stuff. It's yeah. I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I did say that in the video. I can't speak for everybody, but ultimately, some people might not feel it, but ultimately, it should still get up. And if you can't get it all the way up, then use Viagra or those type of thing. I mean, I won't lie. Sometimes I use those because it helps with the endurance and the length of endurance. I mean, but oh my god, I feel like this is an inappropriate topic. But I don't give a shit. I mean, if you guys need to know the information, I'm here for it. Shit. My mouse is just clicking comments, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, how are you doing, Zoe? Whereabouts are you from? How do I unclick comments? Okay, there we go. That's how I do it. All right, I'm new at this whole live game. I'm learning as we go. We're all learning as we go. Oh wait, oh there's Sheldon. Now he's back with his camera. Let me get him on. All right, let's add this mother. I'm gonna try not to swear. What up?
Can you see me and hear me?
We can see you and we can hear you, Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What's going on?
Oh, we're just
Okay.
chilling. Hey,
All
everybody.
right, guys.
This is Sheldon the Blind Traveler.
Yes, sir. Actually, Nick, it was your fault and my fault. Your fault with audio. I realized when I got up, my light was off. Fucking blind guy.
Oh, shit.
I'm blind. Dude, I hang out in the dark, man. Yo, bro, if I ever get married, trust me, my wife don't have to worry about the light bill. Just leave that shit off, man. Dude, I fucking hang in the dark, bro. I hang in the dark.
Oh, damn. That's hilarious. I didn't even think of that. I really did not even think of that.
So I got up and I'm like, let me check my fucking light switch. And it was off. Sorry, Nick.
Oh,
Fuck,
man.
Man.
Oh, my
Yo,
God.
Man, dude, you're talking about penis talk. Pause.
Yeah. We got people asking questions, bro. Yeah, so we got another question. He's like, yo, you travel on an airplane with your power wheelchair. How does that work? So basically, it works. The biggest concern that we all have is like, are they gonna break our chairs? So like my first time I went, I ended up going with like a good airline because I just make sure that I'm good. So when I went to Costa Rica, I used Air Canada. And yeah, basically, I think it's unacceptable that they make us separate from our chairs. It's like, oh yeah, let me just cut off your legs and then we'll carry you onto the plane. It's crazy how they got left out of all the rules and regulations when they made it for all transit. But ultimately, so basically I sell like a lifty sling on my Quad Squad website. I sourced it because like all the ones I looked up were like really expensive and I wanted to source something that wasn't too expensive. So basically you put the lifty sling underneath you when you get in your chair in the morning. And then long story short, there's 2 handles on the front, 2 handles on the back. When you get to the airplane, they lift you up and they put you on the aisle chair and then they run you down the aisle. Most of the time they'll like change out people's seating situations so that they put you at the front of the airplane. And then they'll take your wheelchair and put it under the plane. When I do that, I tend to like get bubble wrap and wrap it around the joystick and anything that I don't have to have on the wheelchair and I can put on my carry-on, I will, like my side pads or my headrest or my shin plates on my wheelchair, just so that it's like less things that they can lose and less things that they can break. And then I'll put bubble wrap on my joystick and try to pivot it in so it's not in an area where they're going to snap it off. And then I'll also bring backup parts like a backup joystick or a backup swivel part, just to, just in case, you never know, because they are rough with that. They haven't done any damage. So I've done Costa Rica, so that's 2 flights. I've done Mexico, that's 2 flights, and then I've done Panama City this time. That's 2 more flights. I've only had them break things once, which was my flight back from Panama City recently. They didn't really break anything big. Like they broke the tilt module thing that has the 4 tilt buttons. Sheldon, you got some background audio.
It's the music on my radio.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, and they didn't do mad damage, but it's just little things. So, and I was getting back to Canada, so it wasn't too much of a big deal. But yeah, so long story short, they separate you from your chair, put you on an aisle chair, transfer you onto the seat. It makes it a lot easier when you've got a carry sling. I haven't tried it without. I made sure to source it and get one before I did my first trip, just for simplicity. Otherwise, they'll probably like pick you up by your armpits and your legs. They do some airlines like Air Canada, WestJet. They do have like a Hoyer lift type of thing that they will pick you up with if you weigh too much weight. So if you're like 200-300 pounds, they've got a lift that will actually lift you like a Hoyer lift. What up, Gowbot? What's going on, buddy? Yeah, no, good to see you. You got any other planes about flying with a wheelchair and an airplane? Yeah, or any other questions from anybody? I'm an open book.
How
We
many
already
people
have,
are in your chat?
we got 7 people on the live, and we got a
Nice.
bunch of people ask questions. Yeah, even if it's inappropriate questions, we already got someone asking about penis things and functions. So we're already past it. We're already past a point of no return. So any questions are allowed here.
Well, I just want to share, like, when I first met Nick, yeah, man, he's an amazing dude. He's an inspiration, man. This guy lives a normal life just like everybody else, man. He travels, he gets girls. His last ex-girlfriend, she was a bombshell. Yeah, man, this guy goes to concerts. He went to the 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes concert this summer. Yeah, but you live life, my brother,
Yeah, you make do with what you got and you carry on,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's a little different. You just got to figure out how to, do what you want to do. You just got to figure out how you can do it and then just go and do it.
Let people know how you broke your neck, man.
Yeah, I did.
Too many
a bit.
No, I'm joking. Did you break your neck from going down under?
Oh my God, let's not go there, Sheldon.
No, I'm joking.
I know.
Okay, tell them.
Yeah, but I already went into a little bit, but yeah, Galbot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it would work being vented going on it. Galbot asked. Well, he said I'm vented, so I don't know what that would be like. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, they'd have to figure it out. They would. I mean, I'd say just like if you're gonna plan to go traveling, just ask the question. It wouldn't hurt to call and be like, hey, this is my situation. What would this look like? And then just explain it to you. I mean, like Air Canada and WestJet, they tend to have you fill out a medical form to say like, okay, this is what I need. These are my disabilities. This is this type of support I need, and they have to accommodate. But yeah, man, Gabe. Okay, I'll call you Gabe from now. Yeah, no, you can't let things hold you back. It's like, some things happen, and sometimes you can't change the direction of your life, but you just gotta make do with what you got and figure out how you can do what you still like doing. Like I still go to concerts and stuff independently. One of the big things was like when I broke my neck, I made sure that I got the hospital to teach me how to do my own catheters so that I didn't have to have a Foley in all the time. I can just go to the concerts, find a bathroom, and do my own catheters. Because like that's like the biggest part of freedom of being a quad is like I remember in the beginning of my accident, I used to have to time. I can't leave home for more than 4 hours because I have to get back for the nurses to do my catheter. So like that used to be a big limitation to me. So I was like, I got to teach myself. But yeah, I mean, and for all y'all that are here that didn't hear in the beginning, I broke my neck snowboarding. I was snowboarding and I hit a jump and I fell, and somebody impatiently didn't wait for me to clear the landing. So when they hit the jump after me, they basically landed on my head. So they landed like 5 feet above me, and then they tried to stop sideways on their board, and the bottom of their board slid into the top of my head, pushed my head so hard in my shoulders that my neck exploded, C5 burst fracture. And I mean, shit happens. I was 16 at the time, and the kid that hit me was 13. I mean, we don't tend to be very patient at the age of 13. So, I mean, I no hard feelings against the kid. But, shit happens, and then they told me I wouldn't move anything from my neck down. I mean, my level down again. And I was like, you know what? Screw doctors. They don't know everything. My goal is to walk again. That's what I'm going to do. And, I just stayed positive, and I just kept fighting. That's how it. That's and I feel in my case that staying positive and like being like, hey, I understand that you think I'm not going to get that back, but I believe that's going to happen. And it's like that positive thinking helps your body make those connections. And and you just keep fighting. You keep trying to move those legs. I mean, if you accept what they tell you. And like I feel like it grinds my gears that most doctors and hospitals, like right when you break your neck, they give you the worst case scenario and say, this is what it's going to be, you know? And it drives me crazy because it's like, you know, you could say, this is what I think is going to be, you know, this is what we know to be true, but you know, anything's possible. But like, no, they try to cover their bases by being like, no, you're never going to get that back. Because then there's no opportunity for you to sue them if you don't get that back, you know? But I don't think it's that bad to be like, you know, it's possible, you know, stay positive, but you know, that's the hospital, the system. That's the system basically, you know?
I thought you
Yeah.
broke your neck for bobbing for apples.
Yeah, but that's it, you know? Bobbing for apples. Yeah.
What I love about you, Nick, man, you always make fun of your situation, which is it's a good thing, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
laugh. With the you can't do anything about it, so all you can do is really laugh about it. Laughter, you know, brings positive. Yeah. So I
But that's the
use
thing, because Nick, when I was traveling with you, man, you were mentioning to me that you would get messages from other people, you know, quads and people in wheelchairs that don't even leave their house.
yeah,
You
very
know, and
much so.
yeah.
And that's like part of my channel is I want to show you that, you know, you can still go out, you can still do this, you can still MacGyver your way to go and do what you love to do. You know, it's just a little different. You know, just because it's going to be different doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. So, you know, Gabe said he uses a sip and puff power chair that doesn't fold up. It's super heavy. Yeah, I feel you. Like my chair weighs like 350 pounds. It's a Permobil F5. So it's like 350 pounds. You know, they make it work. You know, it might be a little more complicated because yours is like got probably the ventilator attached to it, which, you know, you just got to think of that. Think of it, it's going to have to be detached because it's going to have to come with you. You know, you just got to think of that aspect of it. You know, they'll probably give you an extra seat because you need that room for the ventilator. Yeah, so they'll carry you out, carry you in your seat. You have, I'd say you're probably going to go with a PSW. So you just make sure your PSW knows how to like turn off the brakes on your wheelchair and make sure that they protect what they can on it before they take it away and go put it under the belly. But you know, it's possible. You know, but I'd say talk to the airplane about it.
Oh, don't forget to mention to them, guys, when you get to whichever country you go to,
Yeah.
be very patient because some of these countries don't know, like, I guess, the laws of traveling with a wheelchair. Because they didn't you run into problems in Panama coming back?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just gotta be patient. You just gotta advocate for yourself. You know, you gotta talk to them like they know nothing. You know, advocate as if like you know you need it done this way and blah 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 and all that stuff. And like you know, and you just like for example, like they have to bring your wheelchair to the plane. Like they have to. That is your right. But I mean, for my first two trips, I didn't want to be a pain in the ass to anybody. So I was like, they're like, oh yeah, it's over here, or like, oh, it's over at the baggage claim, and I'm like, well, like, I want you to bring it here. And they're like, oh, it's gonna be faster the other way. So I let them take me to the baggage claim, but like after the two times, I was like, I'm not doing this again. No, you bring the chair to the plane, and I just put my foot down this time in Panama City. I was like, no, you bring me my chair. I'm not getting out of this plane until you bring me my chair, because then they're prioritized like. They want to get you that chair as quick as possible because they need to get that plane cleaned and they need to get that plane up and running for the next flight. So then they'll prioritize making sure it gets done quicker. And I learned that with this trip. So you know, you just gotta know your rights. Yeah, they don't know shit. They don't.
No, exactly. Hey, let me ask you a question. How was it traveling with your dog? The first time you went
I
to
mean,
Costa
traveling
Rica.
with my dog was nice. It was nice. They gave me an extra seat, so I went to Air Canada. Gave me an extra seat in the middle. And yeah, like they gave me an extra seat for the dog, which was good. Um, and you know, it was good. It was easy. I mean, like I went to Costa Rica that time, so the requirement wasn't too big. But I realized once I got there was paperwork I needed, and nobody told me about it until we were there. And they almost wanted to turn me around. My mom's bawling her eyes out, and they let us go through. And I had to go see a vet in Costa Rica to make sure that I got the paperwork to be able to bring him back with me, which was silly. But you know, you just gotta know what you're getting into. So with Yeah, with every single country, there's different paperwork you need to fill out for bringing a service dog. I didn't bring him to Mexico and I didn't bring him to Panama because it is a lot of work, like to get the paperwork and like sometimes you have to go to food and administration in your country and get them to sign off on it and stuff like that. So with Panama City, they wanted that and like it was so hot down there. I was just my dog was gonna chill in the apartment the whole time because I didn't really need him, so I decided not to bring him. Um, Wait, I got so Will Torres has a question. Do you have the standing feature on your chair? Yeah, I do. So I've got the F5 PS, which is the fight, whatever, however you say it. Had the
That's how
standing on
you
it.
dance, right? That's how
Yeah,
you dance when I was at the club with you. Yo,
you know,
guys, man, this guy's wheeling and dancing in his wheelchair at the nightclub, man.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Panama. I mean the Colombian women love to dance. It was a good time down there in
Yep,
Panama. Um,
yep.
yeah. So how do you find your F5 turning in the minivan? So I've got the Chevy Traverse, and the Chevy Traverse is actually pretty spacious. I love it. I freaking love my Traverse. It's pretty good. So like if you're the driver, there's plenty enough room. Like, you come in, you turn, you drive right into the driver's spot. If you're trying to get into the passenger side, it is a little tight, but it is doable because, like, sometimes I'll have my friends drive. If, like, my buddy boss drove me to the airport and picked me up. So it is possible. It just takes a couple extra, like, turns and pivots and, just making it work. But it does work with the Traverse and your F5. Um, yeah, it works and it's good. Like I would never not get a Traverse again. I mean, it's very expensive for a Traverse versus other vehicles, but I think for the style, the engine, how it works, how it looks, I love my Traverse.
Nice. Hey,
Yeah.
Nick, I want you to share with everybody what happened to you at the poolside in Panama City, bro, with your wheelchair.
I know.
Woo!
Yeah. So,
Man.
1 second, do you have turning in the? Yeah, no, I'm just going through the questions, then I'll get into that.
Yeah, get to that after. Yeah, man.
So Will, did I have any AD while driving? I mean, while flying? So no, I didn't. Honestly, I'd say one thing like what I do is I wear my stockings, like my pressure stockings. I just kind of think that that's a good idea when going on a flight because you never know how the altitude and stuff is gonna affect your blood pressure and your all that stuff and like swelling and stuff like that. So I just wear my pressure stockings just as a precaution. But besides that, I mean, I never went AD, but sitting on those seats is definitely uncomfortable. Like you'll definitely get some pain in your back and your tailbone and like stuff like that. If you've got curvature of your spine, like I definitely suggest bringing some kind of laterals to put into your rib cage to kind of help hold you straight. I didn't do that with Costa Rica and it made it really painful. But it was my first time, so I learned as I went. So I definitely saying some kind of support laterals to make it so you sit like supported in the seat. But no, I didn't experience any AD. I look like Lewis Thompson. I don't know who that is, but I'll take it as a compliment. Okay, what does the service dog do? Okay, so what the service dog do for me? So basically, what my service dog does for me, it's pretty crazy how smart dogs can be. So my dog is a special skills. I did a whole video on it, but so the one thing I use him for the most is picking up my stuff. So when I drop things, he'll pick it up and put it on my lap. Let's see. I can. I'll get him to do something right now. Let me see if I can angle down the camera. Wakely. Let's see this. I got tennis elbow right now, so like my arm's killing me. That's why there's a fur on my arm. Wakely, fetch. Wakely, fetch. I know. I just woke you up. I know. Can you fetch that? Wakely, fetch. Fetch. Dad, you just woke me up. Up. Come on, give. Oh, almost. Wakely, fetch. Up. Come on, give. Thank you. Good boy. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing I use from like 6,000 times a day because, us quads, we tend to drop things all the effing time. So that's one. Another thing, he can open doors. So I've got like a rope on my door. He'll tug on the rope till it opens the door, or he can jump up, push down on the lever, and push open. You can also push the door openers, like the automatic door openers. He can get stuff out of the fridge. He can bark for help, go get help. He can take off my sweater. So he'll grab the sleeve of my sweater and I'll tell him tugs. And he'll grab the sleeve and tug, and then I'll pull my arm out of my sleeve, and then he'll do the other side, and then I'll get him to pull until it pulls it over my head. Um, I've also taught him how to pull down on the back of my shirt. So if my PSW doesn't tuck down my shirt, my ass isn't hanging out. Bark for help, go get. So like basically, if like I live in the same apartment as my mom, I don't. I live by myself completely. But if my mom was upstairs, and like I fell out of my chair, I can say, Wakely, go get mom, and then he'll go and get mom and like nudge her until she follows him back to me to come get her to come help me, um, and stuff like that. So yeah, fetch, go get, take off my sweater, open doors, get stuff out of the fridge. They can literally do your laundry if you want them to do that. I don't need that because I got PSW support, because it's very tedious. Like, if you got two front loaders beside him, they'll put it from the hamper into the washer, and then from the washer into the dryer. Like, you press start, and then basically they put it in the hamper, and then drag it behind you. A little bit tedious for me. I don't really need that, but if you don't have that type of support, they can do it. Yeah,
Do
right.
they fold it? Did they fold your clothes too?
They can't quite fold it. They can't fold it. You can only expect so much without fingers.
Yo, that's ill, man. That's amazing. That's so cool.
It's pretty crazy how smart dogs can be. It's I call him Super Dog. Yeah. All right. So Gary's got a side loading van, and it kind of sucks. Honestly, I used to have a Dodge Grand Caravan. I hated that vehicle. Honestly, it was nothing but problems. Honestly, I feel you there. I feel the pain there. Like I mean, it ran and it worked, but like I used to have the automated ram, and that thing used to break down all the time, and it got to a point where I just stopped using automation. I just got people to pull it down because I feel you, bro. I mean, I hate the Dodge Grand Caravan with the vulnerability conversion. It sucks. I feel you. I feel that pain. What's the longest you were on a plane? Oh yeah. So the longest I was on a plane. So the first flight I did was to Costa Rica. That was 5.5 hours. Well, five hours ish, maybe a little longer. But yeah, that was painful because it was the first time I went on flight. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to plan. I didn't know that I shouldn't put my massive rojo under my seat. I figured that would be good for me, but it wasn't, because you sit so much higher, and then the headrest is like right up in you, and you're like leaning forward. It's pushing your head forward and stuff. So and then like I didn't have any lateral support. So if like you see my chair, I've got like lateral supports on my backrest. So I didn't have that when I'm sitting on the seat for 5 hours. So it got painful going there and coming back. But ultimately, the second time I went to Mexico, I bought like lateral support that people wrap around their beds. I'm gonna put it on my website. I forgot to add that when I sourced it with the carry sling. I'd say that's a good suggestion, so that you've got some support, even if you don't have a curvature, like just so that you're not like falling one way or the other as a quad. And then, yeah, Mexico was 4 hours. That was a breeze. Honestly, it was probably the best I've ever been on a plane. I went WestJet, and 4 hours was doable. Like, it wasn't that painful. I bought a different type of seat cushion, just like one off of Amazon that's like a gel pad, just to add a little bit extra comfort. But I did learn from somebody that dropped a comment on one of my videos that the seat cushion on most economy plane seats, you can pull it off like it's Velcro. So then you could technically put your Rojo on the seat and take off the flight seat. I didn't try that. I was going to try it on the way back from Panama, but I didn't end up being able to do it because it was just a shit show. It was a shit show coming back from Panama. Honestly, it was honestly, I'm without words how much of a shit show that was. But, that's a long story. But yeah, but then Panama was 5.5 hours, I flew first class on the way there, which was really nice. It was comfortable. It was spacious. I was comfortable the whole way through. Honestly, it made all the difference. And then I did economy back, and it was definitely more painful. Um, so I'd say like if you're a quad and you can do the bid to upgrade, it's always good to do the bid to upgrade. It was 100% worth it for me. Um, and yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Zoe, for the compliment of being Lewis Tomlinson or whatever. Um, and yeah, I mean, Siennas are good bands. I'd say if I was to go with any band, I would go with an Odyssey or a Sienna. I'd probably go Odyssey because they look a lot cooler than a Sienna. But Siennas, I think, are a lot more spacious on the inside. Like whenever I have wheeltrains and they drive me in a Sienna, I always feel like the turn radius in a Sienna is way better than the Odysseys. Did it take long to load you in and out of the plane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes smoothly, going from Canada to the Central American country is a breeze. Like they have a
Yeah.
system in place. They load you first. They get you there. They get you comfortable. Like it's always a breeze going from Canada to the Central American countries. But like coming back tends to be a little bit of a shit show. Especially if they like don't really understand there's a person coming in a wheelchair. Coming back from Costa Rica, they knew, so they did a good job because I was with Air Canada, WestJet, WestJet. They didn't know, but they did know, and it was okay. But they did load me last, which was a little bit of a tricky pickle. But they didn't put me in the back of the plane, so it was okay. But coming back from Panama City, it was
They boarded you last,
they
which doesn't
boarded
make
me
sense.
last, and they put me at the back of the plane. Oh my god, I was rubbing shoulders with every single person, and then like we get back to the back of the plane, and like the aisle chair takes up the whole aisle, and like they got me to the back, and then they still didn't have the seat, like where they were gonna seat me, figured out. Like they got me back there. I'm like, okay, so you don't know what seat I'm in? Like you're doing like the switcheroos, and you brought me on the aisle chair, which is painful already, and now we're about the back of the plane, and you can't get in front of me without climbing over me to go figure out what's going on. Like I was like, oh my god, my head was about to explode. I was like so mad. I was like, but I kept it cool. But yeah, it was something. What up? Totally normal. Yes, I made it back. Thank you so much for your technical, know-how of wheelchairs to get my wheelchair back and running.
Are you
Honestly,
ready to share that story, Nick? I
yo,
want to hear it again. Share that story, Nick.
Okay, so I'm gonna share you guys the whole story
This
of
is
my
a good one,
wheelchair.
guys. I'm a blind person, and I ended up pushing him into a bunch of chairs at the nightclub. Share that story, Nick.
Oh god. So basically I was down in Panama City. So that's the thing with like having an expensive wheelchair that has a lot of technical things. So I have the standing wheelchair. So with the standing wheelchair, there's more linear actuators, there's more control boards, there's more modules, there's more things that can go wrong. So I mean, ultimately, so I went into the pool. So me and Sheldon had a pool day. We got in the pool at the Rio and stuff like that. And when they carried me out, like the people that were carrying me didn't speak any English. So like, when they were carrying me out before, when we were in Mexico, when they're carrying me out, they basically hold me up a bit so that the water can drain out of my pants. But they didn't do it that time. So when they picked me up and they threw me in my wheelchair, like we've dumped like a bucket of water on my chair, and like I've never had
Crazy.
electrical problems with my wheelchair before with water. Like I figured they were pretty waterproof. Honestly, I figured, yeah, that's a good word, figured they were. They're not but they're like rainproof, but I don't think they're like waterproof. So anyways, so when they got me in the chair, I was able to drive around for like 2-3 minutes. Then I got flashing red lights on my joystick, and long story short, it stopped moving. And then I like turned it off, turned it on, wasn't working. I was like, shit, it's wet. So then I turned it off, powered it off from the main switch, and then yeah, like then they pushed me in my room. I opened everything up, opened up the bottom of the chair, opened up the seat pan, because like opened up all the covers on the bottom, and I was like, it doesn't look that wet under here. It wasn't wet at all. So then I opened up the seat pan because there's a lot of electronics and like control boards for the linear actuators under the seat pan. And basically I got a control like where ICS box, or I totally normal would probably be able to better explain what that part is, but it's where all the linear actuators plug in. And I thought that was the part that got fried and got wet and everything. I don't know if you know this now. Yeah, totally normal, because I didn't tell you, maybe. But anyway, so like I thought that was it. So basically, long after totally normal, basically, honestly, this guy was a godsend. He like walked me through every single possible thing it could be. We figured out I blew the 20 amp fuse in the ICS control box, which is that's a big fuse to blow. I didn't realize how big it was until he's like, that takes catastrophic stuff going on with electricity. And yeah, you like how I said electricity.
Yeah.
And basically, so I thought that was the problem. I get a fuse, I replace the fuse, and we're good. It was not that simple. So then I got the Ryu to go and buy me some replacement fuses. They bought me 4, and long story short,
But remember, you were saying, thank God that those fuses, thank God there were cars, because
Yeah.
anywhere in the world you can get those fuses.
yeah, they're like everywhere. They're automotive fuses that you can get anywhere. And so I replaced it. Fuse blew again. And I'm like, okay, now we're dealing with a bigger problem. And totally normally walked me through a lot more there. But long story short, we couldn't get it going. We couldn't. Like, there was something bigger going on. And after reaching out to my techs in Canada, we figured out that so one of the linear actuators blew and fried. So they were like, what you can do is basically plug in one linear actuator at a time and see which one blows the fuse. So, and he's like, if it's the backrest or it's the footrest, you can drive the wheelchair, which I think it's absolutely unacceptable that if my tilt's not working, you won't let me drive my wheelchair. Like, that is ridiculous with Permobil. It's like, oh, it's a safety issue. It's like, no, the safety issue is if I can't move my wheelchair, that's the safety issue, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, my flight attendant has a guy that's really tech savvy and has worked on wheelchair repair in Panama before. He didn't speak any English, but he came out and helped me go through all of these things. And then I gave him the input from my techs back in Canada that were like, yeah, plug in one linear actuator at a time and pray to God that it's the backrest or the footrest. And it ended up being the foot elevating, not the foot like go out and in to like lift it like a lazy boy. It's the legs that go up and down and elevate it. So I really never use that except for when I go into standing. So thank God it was that linear actuator that was fried, because then that made me be able to just leave that one unplugged, and then it didn't blow the fuse. I was able to drive my chair, and it was like, thank God. Honestly, dodged a bullet. I did not think I was going to be able to get that wheelchair working. I thought I was going to be without my power wheelchair the entire time.
It would have sucked, Nick, if the chair wasn't.
It would have
Because
sucked.
that night when your chair wasn't working and I was trying to push you around, like blind guy trying to push around a quadriplegic, bad combination.
Yeah, like Sheldon. So like the Rio was awesome. They would help me like push to like dinner and push to breakfast and push to the club. But then when we're in the club, honestly, it was the funniest sight. So Sheldon, we got dropped off at like the back corner. It's like, girls aren't gonna dance with you if you're in the back corner, right? So like Sheldon's like, yo, I don't feel like the vibe is right here. I'm like, you're right. We're sitting in a corner away from everyone. Like they put us in the corner like they do with most people in a wheelchair, and basically, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna push you. He starts pushing me. And I'm like, Sheldon, and like what he'll do is he'll take his hand and he'll point it out in front of me and I'll tap. I'll be like, yeah, that way. And then he'll like point this way and I'll be like, yeah, that way. And then he'll start pushing. And then one time he put his hand there and I went to go touch it and he moved it a little bit and I touched it. So then he started moving that way. I'm like, no. But he can't hear me.
No, it's
he's
so
like,
loud in the
it's
club.
so loud in there. So then I start going that way. I'm like, no, 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 no. And then he pushes me into a chair, and then he like points his hand out, and I'm like, no, no. I try to move his hand this way to be like, oh no, go this way. But he takes the me moving his hand as a yeah, right here. So he starts pushing me more, and he runs me into a table and then into another chair. And the guy comes in, whoa, what are you doing to your friend? What are you doing to your friend? He's like, let me push. And I'm like, oh my God, only if we
Oh.
got this on film, it would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Guys, when his power chair started working again, this guy was doing backflips with the chair. I'm like,
Yeah, we lived it up the next couple of days after we got
yeah,
the chair
man.
fixed.
Okay, but let me ask you, Nick. Now, you've been to 3 countries with the chair that you have now, like, are you gonna try to get a manual power chair to travel with? Like, what do you think? Like, how do you
Yeah, I
feel? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like after this trip and like so Mexico and then this trip, I definitely realized that I think I think it's definitely so basically I forget what the company's called. Bailey's Wheelchair. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bailey built wheelchairs. Totally normal, but they make custom manual wheelchairs. And basically, they also make like power add-ons for them so that they will work with like manual wheelchairs. Because I've got a manual, but I never use it because I don't really have the strength and I don't really feel like screwing up my neck or my back or my shoulders just to push a manual. So that they have a power add-on. And I think I'm gonna probably invest in buying that power add-ons because like it's not only that it's more simple having a manual, but it's also because like when you go to a club, like a lot of clubs and like discotheques and stuff in other countries, they're not accessible. Like there's like 3 stairs, 5 stairs. So like having that manual that has power on it, like people just pick me up and put me in the club. I
Yeah.
like to dance. I like to meet women.
Share with them too. Also, they're gonna save a shit. Sorry for the word. They're gonna save a lot of money with transportation. That's a big one.
I mean, to a point. I mean, if you're gonna get carried into lifts and stuff, but like, I mean, it depends on your comfort. I mean, I think I like the idea of hiring a wheelchair accessible company that is kind of like a tour guide, and then you've got someone that's got your back the whole time.
That's
So,
true.
like
That's true.
using the services we've used, we've got someone watching us at all times, knows
Yeah.
the city, knows where to go, knows where to find the clubs, all that stuff. It's kind of like a tour guide that comes with you as your driver, So I
That's
like
true.
that aspect. But if you're in a pickle and you just want to get somewhere, yeah, you would be able to use an Uber if you had your manual because it folds up and goes. So I'm going to answer some more questions, Sheldon. Do I find any airplane to be better than another? Air Canada was good and WestJet was good. Honestly, I would definitely use them again and I would definitely suggest them. The only other place is Copa. Copa was good going there. Going from Canada, Copa was a shit show coming back. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd say as long as you go with one of like the big companies, like Delta or United Airlines or anything like that, I think you're gonna get good services because like they are so like people advocate so much for disability, especially with all the awareness going on right now. It's like they try to go above and beyond, and I found that Air Canada and WestJet did a good job, but it only takes one screw up for them to not be a good experience. But as long as you make sure your voice is heard and you advocate for yourself and like all of that stuff, it's probably gonna be okay. I was concerned using Copa because they're not huge and they don't have any paperwork for you to fill out as a person with a disability. But we made it work. I don't know if you said this earlier. Of which did you stay? Which did you stay in longer, your wheelchair or sit in a plane chair? But which did you stay in longer, your wheelchair or sit? Um, Gabe, what do you mean by that question? Um, well, like when the chair was broken, I still sat in that chair. Like we had a manual, but I wasn't gonna be uncomfortable. I wasn't gonna sit in that manual and being comfortable all day. So I just got people to push me around in a power chair. And we just tipped the security to drive me around, push me around and stuff. Um, But if you want to clarify that question, I can better answer it. Yeah, it did suck that my chair got wet. I thought it was pooched. I really thought it was pooched. Yeah, it was an F5, Permobile F5. I love my F5. I do really do.
And this was the first week of your 2-week trip.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
many things to check on that chair. Honestly, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even known where to start. Honestly, it was there's a lot of cords, there's a lot of plugs, there's a lot of control thingies, there's a lot of things on that chair. And a lot of things to go wrong. A lot of things to go wrong. But, I'm glad that I got the help of people with that. Yeah. Yeah, you thought I was screwed. I thought I was screwed. I mean, but I'm glad I know who to go to. I was like, the first person I thought of, I was like, all right, I'm a little pooched. I don't know this chair very well. Who do I reach out to? And you were the first person. I was like, I reached out to this guy to send some of my joysticks and stuff before to try out on chairs. But I was like, I think this is the guy. He knows most, and he's the one that is probably going to respond on a Saturday with me being pooched. So I emailed Totally Normal, and yeah, rocking in the club. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a video part 2 of like basically the whole thing of getting the wheelchair not working and then getting it to work and stuff like that. I think there might be some details and some photos in there, but yeah, I mean, maybe me and Totally Normal can do like a collaboration video where we go through the whole story of it, and he can probably, yeah. But if you ever need help with the wheelchairs, he's your guy. I'll definitely drop his YouTube down in the description. So if you guys ever need help with technical know-how of your chairs, he's got thousands of videos on that stuff.
Yeah, he was a lifesaver, Nick.
He really was.
Yeah.
Honestly. He's the man. If you got a broken wheelchair, go to Broken Wheelchair.
Yeah. Too bad they don't have anybody else for your white cane, for my white cane.
I did not have the comments scroll down. Okay, I'm seeing more questions now. Sounds like me. I ate too many cookies, couldn't drive my wheelchair, and ran myself into a wall and broke my toe. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've done damage to my toes before too. Yeah, traveling in a manual chair should make things easier, absolutely. And use bicycle parts if something breaks. That's a true point. It's very true. Yeah, that would be super cool. Good to know. Oh yeah. What do you spend more time on? Your personal chair or seats in the airplane? What do you spend?
Well, obviously your personal chair, because you're only on the plane for like 6 hours.
Yeah, you're only on the
stops.
plane, so you don't get to sit in your personal wheelchair in the plane. They put that under the belly, so they have to take your chair away, and they take it out and around the plane and put it under the belly, so you don't get to sit in your chair. Like, see, the thing is, I limit my flights to like under 6 hours. I can maybe do 8 if I was first class with the lay down seats, maybe 10. But honestly, until they put in regulations and put in those prototypes to make it so we can travel in our wheelchairs, I'm not going to the Philippines anytime soon. Sheldon wants to do the Philippines. I want to do the Philippines, but ultimately, I'm not doing 18 hours in a freaking chair.
Right. And don't forget to let them know about connecting flights, because they can damage your wheelchair
and all that stuff. Like, it's just not happening. Like, especially that. Yeah, it's a very good point, Sheldon. Like, that's an extra flight that you have to get on and off of, and it's more things that they can break on your chair. And if they break it on a connecting flight, what do you do, right? So it's like, screw that shit. Until I can sit in my chair and monitor my chair all the way through and be comfortable in my chair, I'm not going for long distance flights. It's not happening. That would be so amazing. Like, it would, honestly, I don't know how they got around the regulations when they first did come out with the regulations for for transit to have to be accessible. But like, that would, honestly, I can't wait for that day. I really can't wait for that day.
When you can wheel in a plane, right? And
just wheel in the plane and hook in with my docking system, just hook in and I'm good to go. I can't wait for that day. That will be a beautiful day for all peoples in wheelchairs. Um, yeah. So basically, yeah, they put your chair in neutral. So like that's why it's good. Like for example, I know that if you go traveling, you're gonna bring a PSW. Like it just you're gonna have to. So like you just gotta know, make sure your PSW knows how to work your chair and how to put it into manual, and you just switch it into manual. I think they'll know how to do it if you go without your PSW. They will know how to put it into manual, or you just tell them how to put it into manual. Um, but yeah, they just put it in manual and then they wheel it. Oh man, that's a lot of talking. That's a lot of talking. Awesome. I'm glad
How
this
many people are in the chat?
we got 7 people on here and we got a
Nice.
bunch of questions. This is the best live we've done yet, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Nice.
is awesome. We got
Nice.
lots of good questions. We got a lot of interacting. Man, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to do a live every single Sunday. Try to, be able to touch base with you guys, have you guys ask questions, give me input on what you guys want to see next. Like, is there any videos you guys really want to see next? Any technology you want to see next? I was thinking about checking out the new. So I use this camera, this like technology to move my mouse on my screen. So it's a camera up there and it follows this dot on my glasses. There's this new Tobii eye tracker where you can move the mouse on your computer with just looking at your computer and using your eyes to move the mouse. I was thinking about getting that and trying it out if you guys were interested in it. Because I thought my head mouse was broken the other day, so I thought I was gonna have to do that, and then I ended up getting it working. But I could check that out if you guys were interested in that. It's the first time I caught one. What do you mean? Yeah, yeah. Uh, but it's yeah. I'm glad this went so well. Yeah. How was your experience in Panama, Sheldon, with being blind?
I would say for the city, the sidewalks weren't as accessible as I thought because it is, you know, obviously like it is a developed city, but the
Yep.
sidewalks were not that accessible. But they did have tactile on some of the intersections, but not all. But overall, when it comes to accessibility for a blind person, I would give Panama City, I would give the city a 6 out of 10 because, they did have Braille on the elevator buttons, but like I said before, like it could be, the city should be more developed, especially that they have like, condos with like 66 floors, like all these modern buildings and not even one elevator letting you know what floor you're getting off of. Because here in Toronto, my old building, it would tell you what floor you're getting off of. But yeah, also too, the intersections didn't have the little beeping sound to let you know when to cross. That's
Yeah,
the next thing too, Nick. The intersections in Panama City were brutal.
they were. They were like
Hmm.
you get to end of one sidewalk, and then there's no curb cut, and then you look across the street and there's a curb cut.
Yeah,
Like if you guys watch my videos of me rolling through the city, I tried to
you're on
do
the
it.
street.
Yeah, on the street. It's like it's kind of ghetto. Like once you get to the main intersections, it's pretty good. But like on the main streets, it's good. But like side streets and getting to those main really populated streets, it's a little ghetto. So you just
And the
gotta
thing
be
is, you can't really recommend people to do what you do, Nick, because you're
yeah. Like
different.
I'd say
Yeah.
if if you're gonna do your first trip, absolutely use Wheel the World. If you're not comfortable with traveling and you've never done it before, like absolutely do Wheel the World
Hmm.
if you can afford it. Honestly, because they made my first experience like it got me hooked because they did show me a privileged version of traveling where I saw everything accessible in Costa Rica, but at least it gave me input and know how to do it, what it's like, how to manage, what happens when your plane gets canceled, how to make it work, how to advocate for yourself, how to figure things out. It was a good test run, and it got me comfortable with it. It made me realize I can do this without them, you know. So that's how I got into it. And then with me and Sheldon, Sheldon's my one buddy that's ready to get on a plane at any time, go anywhere, and just do it, you know. So me and Sheldon were like, let's go do some budget trips, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Reed Chief, what's going on? Where you coming from, Reed Chief? Where you located? Wheel the World.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Gabe, yeah, so Wheel the World is a company that does accessible travel. So basically, they'll sell you a package to go to Costa Rica or to the African Lion Safari or anywhere you want to go. They've got packages to go, and they do like a group trip. So it was me and three other guys in a wheelchair, and one of them came with their wife. One of them came as a quad. He's the one that runs um, the Facebook group Spinal Cord Injury USA. And we went all together, and it was good. It was an amazing trip. Um, and like they just worry about everything. They supply you your commode chair. They supply you your lift. They supply you the wheelchair beach chair. They plan you to do surfing. Like they literally, I was like, I had no idea how you're gonna put me on a surfboard, but sure, I'll try it. Put me on a surfboard. I'll do it. You know. So they literally put me on a surfboard, and I surfed as a quadriplegic in Costa Rica. It was pretty awesome. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't do it again because that sand gets right up in your crotch.
Right.
It goes right up your pants because you're
But Nick,
sitting on a seat on a surfboard.
share with them. So guys, if you guys can't afford Wheel the World, Nick has a lot of experience in Cancun. So Nick linked up with an accessible company called Cancun.
Accessible Cancun.
Yeah,
Cancun Accessible.
Yeah, so you explain to them that they have the beach wheelchair.
Yeah.
So explain to them, yeah.
I'd say if you're gonna do it and you can't afford to Wheel the World, 1 second, let me get this thing fucking off my hand.
Mm-hmm. Tell them to message you. You'll give them whatever information they need.
This thing's pissing me off. Yeah. So basically, yeah, if you guys want the information, yeah, like so if you want a first trip that's simple, it's easy, they take care of most of the things. I'd say Cancun Accessible is a good one. Go to Cancun. It's more expensive, but it's going to be less expensive than if you go with Wheel the World. Wheel the World basically just uses Accessible Cancun in Cancun. So, you know, that way you can negotiate a price, you know, this stuff. They will handle everything you need because Wheel the World doesn't give you the package. Like it doesn't include your flights. You still have to buy your flight. You still have to do the flight by yourself. You still have to do all of that stuff. Like I'm going to give you any information that Wheel the World will about flying. But once you get in the country, they deal with everything. They give you your accommodations. They give you your lift. They give you your commode. And if you go to Cancun, you know, Cancun Accessible will do literally that for you.
Yeah,
and it will
everything.
be at a better rate, you know, and all that stuff. And it will even save you more money if you go and find your own accommodations. Make sure you've got a place that is accessible, which I would, if you want something and you're going to be using transit to get around, Residence Inn was amazing. They did have a pool lift. They were fully accessible, but you can't wheel into town. That's the one biggest like downside of Residence Inn. But if you want a place to stay that's fully accessible, it's got 2 pools, pool lift, accessible shower, and stuff like that. It was a really good one, and it was really affordable. And then you use Cancun Accessible for your trips into town or in trips to the beach. And they gave us a beach chair to do that and stuff. So if you can't afford Wheel the World and you want to do something, my suggestion would be Cancun, because then it's only a 4-hour flight, which is a good a first trial run. It's a really good first run. You know, it's not too expensive. You can manage it without a Wheel the World and just use Cancun Accessible. And then all in, you know, it's decent. It's really good. That's a good point, Sheldon.
Yeah. And Caesar, he took us to the nightclub. He watched our backs all night, man. We were partying all night, like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of that wheelchair that went on the sand into the water that he brought
It's
with
like
him?
an amphibious wheelchair, beach chair.
Amphibious wheelchair. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was so cool.
Ismail asked. I probably butchered your name wrong, but he asked, "I need a friend like Sheldon. How did you guys meet?"
Narcotics Anonymous in
Yep.
2018.
Yeah, so we're both recovered, and basically we met each other in Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I've been clean for 7 years,
Yeah, I've been
from
clean
drugs
for
and
3
alcohol.
years from cocaine.
Yeah, and yeah, that's how we met, and we just kind of hit it off, and share now. I go to clubs and do things in a chair, and he's like, "Shit, this
Mhm.
guy's pretty awesome." And then we just, he made a YouTube channel, I made a YouTube channel, and we've just been supporting each other and trying to, you know, get our channels better and do better, and giving each other insight and how to grow your channel, and that was the one thing that made us relate and it made us like talking every single week and trying to help each other with that stuff. So then we just kind of hit it off, and you know, it's a good thing knowing a travel YouTuber because then that guy's down to travel whenever.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we all have friends that would love to go on vacation, but then you're like, let's go on a vacation, and then they never want to go on a vacation. Oh yeah, next year or
Yeah,
next year.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
it's like, and then it
exactly.
never happens. So it's like, yeah. So Sheldon was like, he's just that guy. I'm like, it's also like adds to the experience with our channels where it's like, a blind guy and a quadriplegic in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
It's like, what's the
yeah,
worst that can happen? It's like
yeah,
if
yeah,
we
yeah.
can travel together, anybody can travel. Like we
Right.
are the two like most severe of disabilities that it's like, if anyone's gonna do it and we can do blind and in a wheelchair,
Hmm.
you guys can do it.
Exactly. Because we want to show you all that, you can definitely travel within your budget.
Yeah,
Because when Nick told me how much he paid the first time he traveled, ew, wow, it was very
yeah.
expensive. But again,
2,500 US
he
per
had the best
person.
time of his life, but it was very expensive. So I told Nick, like we could literally do the legwork ourselves and break it down, and that's exactly what we've been doing.
Yeah,
Our next trip is either going to be Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, or Aruba, or even Colombia. We're not sure yet.
yeah, yeah. Wheel the World does do in USA. I'd say the main majority of their group trips that they offer are in the US, like Florida or this or that. I mean, in the US, I feel like you could probably manage it because it's like we have the AODA and stuff like that. You could probably manage it on your own, but it would be a good run. It would probably be less expensive because it's in the US and because it's easier for them to manage it. So I mean, you could do it within the U.S. and do like something like that, and go on a trip within U.S. and then you're even more comfortable because you've got backup. There's going to be wheelchair repair systems.
Yeah,
There's going to be accessible transit. All these things. So it might be a good run. That's a good point. Um,
that's facts, man. Get your feet wet with Wheel the World, because the first time I traveled as a blind person, I met up with a friend, and I didn't do it alone. I definitely did not do it alone the first time.
Yeah. But anyways, boys and girls, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna hop in my hot tub. My PSW is gonna be here in like 8 minutes. So you guys got any last questions? Anything you want to know? We're gonna do this next Sunday as well. So if you guys want to all hop in next Sunday as well, we can get more in depth into anything
Yeah,
else. You
did
can.
you drop the StreamYard link in this one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I love my hot tub. I've got a standing ceiling track over top of it, and it's like a three seater. And honestly, it helps with my spasms. It helps with my pain. It helps with. I love my hot tub. I've got videos on my YouTube about it on how I do it. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave it down in the description for when this video publishes. Um, oh shit! Shout out to mom. Mom's in the chat. Mom's in the
Who?
chat. Mom, Tammy.
Hey, mom.
Hey,
Love you,
mom.
Tammy.
Yeah. Super mom. Super mom in the chat.
She makes the best salads.
Yeah, hit those notifications, Reed. Yeah, I'd love to see you all next time. Honestly, I love this. Honestly, I just want to go live all the time now. Fine. Yeah, sorry about my language. Sorry, mom, I swore. Uh-oh. Mom said, Tammy says, I love you, Sheldon.
Yeah, man, she's the best.
She's the best. Yeah. How long have I been living on my own? So I've been living on my own ever since the accident to a point. So I did 3 months inpatient at Lyndhurst, and then I got my first apartment, lived there for 14 months. They called it transitional living because then they're supposed to teach you how to live on your own in a wheelchair. They didn't teach me crap. It was just a tenant care building. And then I lived up north from Mom for like 3 months until we found a new place. And then I moved down there, Church and Carlton. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, and I lived there and had a tenant care in the building. And then after I went to drug rehab, I got out of drug rehab, and I've been living here by myself for about 7.5 years now. And honestly, I love my independence. Like, my independence means everything to me. You know, I love living on my own. I love making my own decisions. I'm on direct funding. Direct funding is a government program where they directly give me the funds to independently hire all of my staff. So, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's like running an agency on your own care. So you hire the people, you interview the people, you pay the people. I mean, once you're on it and once you run it and you find a good team, it's pretty easy because your bookkeeper does most of the work. But yeah, I can get more into that next time if you guys have questions about that and living independently. Super moms are the best. They are. You know, where would we be without our moms, right?
Real talk.
You know,
Yeah.
real talk, right? Yeah, I'm mommy. Sorry, I'm a potty mouth. Potty mouth. Oh, sheesh. Yeah. But anyways, guys, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys came in. I'm glad you asked so many good questions. Man, I'm losing my voice. I'm talking so much. It's like an hour and a half of straight talking. Gosh. Um, yeah, man, I'm glad you guys came. I'm glad I was able to give you guys some valuable input. And any last questions for me or Sheldon, the blind man or the
Yes,
quadriplegic?
sir. If
Yes,
you
sir.
guys get a chance, go to my YouTube channel, Sheldon the Blind Traveler, and don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to Nick Patterson Quad
Yeah,
Squad, guys.
and hit those notifications like
Yeah.
Reed. That way you know when our videos drop or our lives go.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I guess we'll sign it off here. Quad
All right.
Squad.
See you next week, Sunday, Nick. Peace.
All right. Yeah.
Peace.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. See you next week, Will.
Yes,
See you
sir.
next week, Gabe. And have a great night, guys. Peace. Thanks for coming.